Om Sri Saram. I offer my humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our visionary founder, Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai. Sir, we would like to begin this session with the chant of Sahana Bhavatu. I kindly request students also to join me in chanting Sahana Bhavatu. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Good afternoon, sir. It's a pleasure to connect with you, sir. I've been following you on Twitter and I've watched several of your interviews, but it's truly wonderful to speak to you, of course, in virtual, but to speak to you in on one to one. And it's a great honor that you would be speaking to our university today. Just a small brief about our university. Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence is under Karnataka State Private University, is a very unique institution. I would say it is world's first first university offering education completely free of cost, and most of our students come from rural areas and marginalized communities, and this university has been a great beacon of hope for them. It was established in the year 2019, and in 2022, by the grace of God, we also established world's first free medical college, and it was inaugurated by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. And we also offer various numerous courses in sciences, humanities, mental health, allied health, and other related courses. The main objective and primary focus of this university is to create gurus who are adept in Paravidya, the spiritual knowledge, and Aparavidya, the material or secular knowledge. And we want to create individuals who can go to rural areas and teach the traditional knowledge of Bharat and its values by awakening and empowering rural population, which is at the bottom of the pyramid, and make them also a part of the success story, the $5 trillion economy which Prime Minister always speaks of. To to train our students and enrich them, we organize these talks which are known as words of wisdom by various leaders. And when our students or and staff learned that you would be talking, they were excited, and in fact I received a special request from our NGO Miles department. We have a unique department called NGO Miles. Yeah, Miles here stands for management, innovation, leadership, entrepreneurship, and sustainability. So they asked me to arrange this talk exclusively for them, and I think we have our NGO Mile students who would be and we have adhered to their request. So I just want to give a brief introduction of the speaker also to the students. Dr. Sharda ji has been a lifelong RSS Swayam Sevak member, and he has held numerous responsibilities within the organization. He was also an ABVP activist during the emergency, and he was a student leader. His exposure to the working styles of RSS and its affiliated organization is vast. He is a founding member of Vishwa Adhyayan Kendra, Center for International Studies, Mumbai, and he served as its General Secretary for 8 years. He was born in Mumbai in 1955, and he has earned a PhD for his research on understanding RSS through its resolutions, focus on Northeast, Jammu and Kashmir, and Punjab. He has completed his undergraduate studies at St. Xavier College, Mumbai, and his postgraduate degree from Mumbai University. Additionally, he holds a diploma in textile uh, field as well. He's well-known face, as all of you may be knowing, on TV panels. He's a freelance columnist offering his commentary on national issues. He has authored several books on RSS and translated major works of RSS founder, which is written by the veteran RSS writer Sri Ranga Hari. Sir, it's also a special coincidence that this year marks the 100th anniversary of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba as well. And I come to know that it's a 100th year of RSS as well. And we are very honored to have you. In fact, we had a great privilege of having Adarniya Mohan Bhagwat ji as chief guest for the university's convocation in the year 2022. So I think there are many coincidences. So I invite you, sir, to talk to our students. Thank you, sir. Sairam.
So much. Thank you, Professor Bhopal, and also the students who have very happily attending this particular program. I congratulate you on a very path-breaking education mission that you have undertaken, which will affect the lives of millions of people. And it's also a great coincidence that the great Sathya Sai and RSS share the same centenary year. It's a very special year for you as well as all of us. And that I got a chance to speak where Dr. Mohan Bhagaji was there, where Sri Sathya Sai's blessings are there is a privilege for me and a good fortune for me. I will begin my talk about Seva is Beyond Charity, the RSS view. Dear friends, it's a pleasure and privilege to address the students of Sri Sathya Sai Baba University. I thank the administration for giving me this opportunity to talk to the youth, the future of Bharat. The topic given to me is very close to my heart and is the bedrock of Sri Sathya Sai Baba's visionary work too. He used, uh, he said that it is a great power to serve the people and instill the samskara that seva is the highest form of sadhana, to quote him. I begin by quoting Sri Sathya Sai Baba himself when he says seva is the highest form of sadhana. He said, God has two forms, Lakshmi Narayan and Daridra Narayan. Most people prefer to worship Lakshmi Narayana for ensuring their personal prosperity and welfare. But few choose to worship Daridra Narayana, the Lord in the form of poor and the forlorn. Members of the Sai organization should think only of service to the Daridra Narayan. If the hungry are fed, they are easily satisfied. Service to Daridra Narayan can never go waste. It is the highest form of sadhana. Man is the product of the society, and service to the society is real service to God. Such service should be rendered without regard to caste, creed, race, or nationality. In serving society, they should bear in mind the four ideals of Satya, Dharma, Shanti, and Prema. Then he goes on to add, service is like a bulb which cannot shed light unless there is a wire to convey the current. Satya is the current. Dharma is the wire through which the current flows. When the wire of Dharma is connected to the bulb of Shanti, then you have the light of love. And his most important advice is God's grace will come when seva is done without expectations of reward or recognition. Sometimes ahankar and abhiman rear their head during seva. They should be eliminated altogether. He says there is an element of selfishness in form of worship like japa, dhyan, etc. But when service is done spontaneously, it is its own reward. It must be done as an offering to God. Now, this last line of Sri Sathya Sai Baba is the starting point of RSS view of seva. That is, there is no expectations of rewards. It is self-motivated urge to serve the society, the poor and the deprived brethren. It is the purest form of karma yoga, serving without any expectation, working without any expectation, doing your duty without any expectations. RSS Swayamsevak have no spiritual guru who assures their spiritual upliftment or moksha. But there is no spiritual motivation of an elevated urge for mukti through religious or spiritual duty. Then how does one get inspired to serve the society? Yes, it's very difficult. However, Sri Guruji, now Guruji is not Guru of RSS. It was the name given to by the pupils, where is very popular in Kashi Vishwavidyalaya, by the students whom he served very happily. His name was Madhav Sadashivrao Golwalkar, and he got the name Guruji even before he joined the RSS. Now his own Guru, Swami Akhandananda, who is the Guru Bhai of Swami Vivekanand, had given him a mantra, Main nahi tu hi, which meant not me, but you come first. Their Guru Swami Ramakrishna Paraman said, Naraseva is Narayan Seva. That is, serving the human being is as good as serving the God or is equal to serving the God. Similar to what Puja Sri Sathya Sai Baba preached. Sri Guruji said, Rashtraya Swaha, Idam na mama. I offer myself to God, the nation, nothing is mine. This is the bedrock of any seva karya that people do. So for the Swayamsevak, RSS Swayamsevak, Rashtra or Bharat Mata is the presiding deity through his life and his inspiration. But to reach this stage of realization, one has to go through the path of sadhana, beginning with 1 hour of RSS Shakha every day. That is the sadhana, how it begins. This is the secret of RSS. How to build character of a person that he or she comes to a level where he or she does not think about self, but also about the people around him or her, the society, and the nation. So, the first, I will explain a little about RSS training to mold a person from a selfish human being to a selfless citizen who puts the nation and the society before self. It is so simple that people believe there is some secret behind this mechanism that they see on the ground around them, but which RSS doesn't share. They believe RSS is hiding the real training from the people, hence it is called a secretive organization. But believe me, that this is 1 hour Shaka is the key to the so-called world of RSS. What does one do in the Shaka? He begins dedicating 1 hour out of his 24 hours where he does not think about his own study, work, or family, but thinks about others in the society. He plays team sports, kabaddi, kho, Indian games basically, works, he and also team sports, exercises, does yoga, dhyana, he sings patriotic songs, listens to inspiring stories and intellectual talks, ends with prayer to the motherland to give him strength and to take the country to the highest level of prosperity. That is Param Vaibhavam, which means the highest level of prosperity. Through all these seemingly simple activities is the biggest lesson building team spirit, unalloyed selfless love for the fellow beings and the nation, and the sense of probity in personal life. When I say this, it means that in RSS, every work that we do is out of pocket. We do not get anything. In fact, we give our own money, our own time, our own effort to work for RSS and for the society through that. So from there on, when everything is kept so consciously clean, you can understand that. And I start by spending even my own money for picnic, for camps, for workshops. I am bound to be much more dedicated than normal person who believes there is to be reward. Being brother-like friendship without any expectation is the bond that lasts forever. When you love your brethren, you are ready to do anything for them. As he grows within Shakha, he takes up simple responsibilities like Gatnayak, team leader, Gana Shikshak, that is teacher of a team in Shakha, Mukhya Shikshak, that is chief, Mukhya Shikshak, which is chief instructor of the Shakha, and Kareva, secretary of the Shakha. Thus, he moves from being an individual to a team leader, then the local locality leader, where he learns the basics of communication while talking to family members of the participating members in their homes, handling teams, and making friends of all ages. In RSS, promotion comes with the time dedicated for the Samaj. There is no other qualification. Slowly, one moves up in the hierarchy with a sense of sacrifice. While he does it, he starts giving more than 1 hour as he moves around in the neighborhood. As he grows more senior, he starts organizing larger programs of Shakha, tutoring juniors in Shakha, meeting families of Swayamsevaks, thus giving more time for the Shakha than home. As he graduates to seniority, attending various picnics, camps, training workshops, takes up larger responsibility, more of his time is consumed by the people in the society at large. From dedicating 1 hour to the Shakha, he gradually graduates to devoting more hours, and many end up devoting their years and sometimes lives for the society. That is Bharat Mata. From a simple Swayamsevak, he becomes a Karyakarta, dedicated to the society. There is no expectation in return. The spiritual awakening comes from the mantra, not me but you first. Main nahi tu hi. Swami Vivekananda says, when you are serving someone, you are not doing any favor. He or she is doing you a favor by giving you a chance to serve. Because Nar Seva is Narayan Seva. You see Narayan in the Nar. Thus, Seva involves the spirit of serving God. Here you find the fine difference between the idea of charity versus the idea of Seva. Charity is doing someone a favor, being charitable, doing something for, as a favor to somebody else. Seva is doing favor to self. Therefore, for us Indians, doing charitable work is anathema. For us, Serving comes from sense of doing our duty to our brethren, and there is no limit to how far you will go to fulfill your duty. As Satya Sai Baba noted, sometimes ahankara and abhimana rear their head during seva. It happens when you think you are doing charity and a favor to someone else. After the hardship of partition and events around it, like fighting to save your brethren and rehabilitating them during the partition horror, it subsided a little. Shri Guruji, the then Sarsanga Chalak, told the Swayamsevaks, I know you must be wondering why I have not appreciated your sacrifices and hard work during this period. I did not do it because when one bears the pain of one's family, one does not expect rewards or recognitions. When one serves one's parents, one does not advertise in the newspapers next day. One is only doing one's duty. Such was the sense of self-abnegation that when he was requested to release a book describing the work of Sangha Swayamsevaks during partition, he refused, citing the same principle. He went on to say that we are cells of the Virat Purush, that society is the Virat Purush, the grand supreme being, the image of which you see when you see the Virat Purush, Bhagwan Krishna. So Samaj itself is the Virat Purush, where we individuals are one of the cells of that body, having individual existence, but linked to each other so the body lives healthily. We, the individuals, are cells of this Virat Purush, forming thousands of eyes, arms, feet, etc. If the cell is healthy, the body is healthy. When a stone hits the head, hands go to protect it, eyes well up with tears with pain, brain immediately thinks of finding a solution to that injury. This is the integral body, the integral society. Thus, when a Swayamsevak runs to help a disaster victim, it is this feeling, being a part of that integral whole, that pushes him to help. When Bharatiya Jansangh was formed in 1951, Swayamsevak had hoped for big victory for Jansangh in 1952's first general elections. However, the party could win only 4 seats and lost deposits even in the areas where they had done tremendous work during partition. They were totally disillusioned. Sri Guruji, who had kept away from the elections, then toured the country addressing the Swayamsevaks and told them that they work for the society unconditionally and though not expect rewards for their work. Slowly, the Swayamsevaks recovered from this shock, realizing the higher goal. Similarly, during the disaster floods in Pune many years back, they worked day and night saving people's lives and properties to the best of their ability. However, in the next election, Jansangh lost Pune elections. Again, they were reminded that do not do seva with any expectation in return. That is the key of seva. Compassion for the fellow being, selfless love drives seva. There is a seva project in Yamgarwadi project near Solapur. The roaming tribes, gypsies, whom we call the Gomandus also, many of them Pardhis. Pardhis are basically supposed to do, target animals, etc. in the forest and make their living. But they had been stamped as thugs, criminal tribe by the British. Actually, most of them became roaming tribes after the defeat in the battlefield of Rana Pratap's army. So Bhils and Rajputs are some of those gypsies or roaming people. They are also hunter and gatherers from forest and so on. They have now become nuts for those people who perform street circus. A pracharak Girish Prabhune saw a small girl abandoned at a bus stop. He picked up the girl and his life took a new turn. Pracharak is RSS full-timer. He tried to find out who the girl was, who had abandoned her. He then found that she had probably been abandoned by some Parthi woman. Out of compassion, he began taking care of that girl. He went to meet the small settlement of Parthis in that place to understand why they behave the way they do, why they keep away from towns and villages and stay in the open and jungles. He came to know their plight. They were the first targets of police wrath. Whenever any crime took place in that area, or any news of murder or crime reached police, they would pick up some of the Parthis and beat them black and blue to confess for the crime. Thus began the unending cycle of oppression. Some would go to jail, families will break up. This bitterness flowed into their daily lives and conduct. The fear of police and law made them keep moving. Because of illiteracy and tough life, utter poverty was their fate. There were no avenues of regular income and settling down. Then Girish Prabhude started his Yamgarwadi project, Bhatke Vimukta Vikas Pratishthan. It was not easy task. because even the beneficiaries could not recognize what he was doing for them. They would sometimes take away their children from the school because an educated child would not rob or steal. Then how would they survive? After many years of hard work and tapas, finally the first batch ever in the history of Pardhis cleared SSC. One of the girl became BJP corporate in Pune in due time. The urge to do something for the society is seated in the heart of every Swayamsevak due to sanskaras in the Shakha. It may take any form of expression. Sri Guruji once asked a senior teacher, Bhaiyaji Kane, since he was alone to start a school in faraway northeast. Entire region was called Assam at that time. So Bhaiyaji Kane from a small place in Thane went to Assam all the way. He immediately went to Assam and began a school in Ukhrul, a village about 6 kilometers, I would rather call it hamlet, about 6 kilometers away from Myanmar border. It used to take a couple of hours walking up the hill to reach there. No, couple of days, sorry, walking up the hills to reach there. He realized the huge sense of isolation among the locals there from their country, Bharat. One of the reasons was lack of attention from the governments of the time. How to bring that sense of integration with the mainstream society and nation? He decided to take some children to Mumbai or Thane, which is next to Mumbai, from where he came and let them stay with other people in the other homes and let them study there if possible so that they feel part of the society. Many families in Mumbai and Thane agreed. However, there was a serious block. Some of the locals who suspected Bhaiyaji's intent claimed that he will take away the children, never to be returned, their organs will be harvested, etc., etc. The lack of trust was serious. By chance, he had a young student with him called Jayant. He suggested that they could keep Jayant with them as a hostage till he returned with the children. This sounded a great idea for everybody. And thus, Jayant was left behind, and Karneji brought the students to Mumbai, that is, the tribal students. Thus, imagine the trust of Jayant had in his Guruji to agree to this idea. Jayant now takes care of this very project after Karneji died. And this small idea became a very huge idea. The idea saw Maharashtra become a center of many hostels for the children from Northeast who got educated here, went back to lead the society in different dimensions of social life. There were no convergence in it. Many of them in different political parties today are products of this seva in education. Now, this is very magical. So the urge to improve the lives of the weaker section of the society have led to many self-help groups, cottage industries in different parts of country, and various programs. Tamil Nadu, incidentally, has the maximum number of women self-help groups inspired by RSS, and their numbers run into thousands. Siva has unlimited dimensions. Your imagination is the limitation. Now, what triggers is this emotion to go out and help people? When a Swayamsevak starts a Seva project, the local RSS unit provides him or her whatever small help it can to make it self-sustainable. As the project picks up, it runs on its own. Society joins to help the project. There is a strong belief within RSS workers that the society must support Seva, not the government. As the people who need help are part of the society, they may do it as a duty. Even very small help is appreciated as it connects people with a Seva project. It is not amount that is important. It is the connection of the people to the project that is important. Though now some rare projects do take government policy help, but most of the projects are supported by the people and run by the people. I'll give another example of Ekal Vidyalaya, a small project conceived by a Pracharak, RSS Pracharak Shyam Gupta, who has a unique project of his own kind. He realized that in the tribal belt, in the rural areas, children cannot go to school because they are doing some farm work, they are rearing the animal. So he thought of one teacher under a tree or in a small room who will teach the students as when they find time and help them pass exams. Now, this particular idea of Ekal Vidyalaya picked up so well that in about 2 decades' time, it runs in remotest parts of Bharat with about 1 lakh branches funded by the people. He took prosperous families on Vivanayatra to experience the lives of the rural tribal brethren in the forest, to sensitize them. Today, it has become a kind of cool thing and a fashionable thing to visit the forest and talk about it in Kolkata and many other cities. I'll give another example how any self-motivated person can do some work, because there is nothing better than examples to help you imbibe the spirit of seva that the people go with. A Swayamsek Vijay Jadhav saw children in dirty clothes playing on the railway platform and some sitting quietly in the corners with seemingly lost expressions. He got out from the train and sat with them, chatted with them. He realized that they were runaway children or children lost in the train journey, but they would not be happy to go back because they were afraid of the parents. Thus began a project, and some were really lost. Thus began a project called Samtol, that is keeping balance. He would gather those children, clean them up, take them to a camp, awaken their sanskaras, and with some basic practices, gave them love and slowly persuade them to disclose their parents' address. So every year there are at least two programs, and the parents are invited, and the children are there, and they unite. And it's a scene to behold, and most end up crying. And he has been able to unite nearly 8 to 10,000 runaway children with their parents. He's so trusted now that railway police reaches out to him in case of report of a lost child is filed. How things change for people when they do unconditional work is another example. Case of history near Mumbai is an RSS project. It runs a residential 3-year diploma course in the agriculture apart from many other programs. The trustees keep track of the past of students. Once they decided to visit all the homes of the students to see their progress. They fanned out to different villages, most around Thane Palghar belt, which is near Mumbai, about 100 kilometers from Mumbai. They asked them about their well-being. Some were settled down in farming, some wished to develop their villages, mostly tribal. They found that they would get stuck at government level for smallest issues. It seemed they needed some support. One of the trustees, Bimal Kedia, called a meeting of the youth there. He heard their stories. He had never lived in villages. He was an industrialist. All his life he spent in cities, but he was stuck with their stories and decided to work with them from then onwards. His aim was to help them do what they wished, not to push his own idea of development down their throat. There are now 175 villages within 7 years who fall under the scheme of rural development, Gram Vikas. Young professionals, team of nearly 40 youth from 25 to 40 years from Mumbai visits them regularly, providing them help in achieving their development by their own ideas. On special occasions, numbers grow to 100 to 150 for projects like afforestation. A bamboo handicraft micro-industry has been set up, run by 80% board consisting of women of the village funded by NABARD. Idea is to help the needy people become self-reliant. Teach them how to catch fish rather than gifting them fish. This is another key differentiator because seva is not charity, so our job is only to help them stand on their own feet. So what drives these people to work for the society? It's compassion, emotional connect, sense of oneness with the society. There is a song in RSS, Seva hai yagya kund, samhida sam hum jale, dhyaya mahasagar mein, sarit roop hum mile. Which means seva is the yagna, we burn in it like samhita, and we merged with the great goal like river merges into the ocean. In all this niswartha selfless service, there is no gain, no spiritual motivation from a guru who assures one a moksha, but the sense of nishkam karma yoga. One must do one's duty without attachment, without any expectation of fruits, and those actions and vision that we are an integral part of the whole society. Today, there are more than 125,000 Seva projects that are registered with proper documents with Seva Bharati, the apex body of Seva program of RSS. How do you build institutions? I'm aware that Sri Sathya Sai Baba institutions are doing tremendous work, much bigger than the RSS-inspired people are doing. That is why I just gave an example of how an individual, a small band of workers, inspired by emotion of making our society a better place and making our nation great and prosperous, can also serve the society with smaller of resources. Just like Param Pujya Sri Sathya Sai Baba's vision of serving humanity evolved over time and so many institutions built with inspiration, RSS too has evolved over time. The ability to create institutions that don't depend on the individual, but thrive even after the person departs, shows the successful vision of that person. He or she could be a Mahatma, a Sant, a Sadhu, or a Grihasti, a family man. Most of the institutions, especially in Bharat, lose steam after the founder departs from the world because he or she did not create the vision, a clear line of succession and sense of mission among his or her followers. Pujya Sri Sathya Sai Baba avoided this trap and left behind robust institutions. This is his greatness. A top-selling book, From Good to Great, notes that great institutions are not built by few brilliant people, but by ordinary hardworking people who continuously work with a clear goal or objective. RSS founder too created an institution that grew stronger even after he left this world. He did it with very ordinary human beings, with no special qualifications. A Marathi saying goes like that: this, take a person as he or she is and mold him or her as per your requirement. In Marathi, the word is आहे तसा घ्यायचा, पाहिजे तसा घडवायचा. Take the person as he or she is and then mold the person to the requirement. He was clear that a Sangathan organization is bigger than the individual. Nation is bigger than any institution. So he decided to launch a man-making mission called RSS that would create patriotic people with character, devotion to society, readiness to serve the society in any possible way selflessly. For this, he created Shakhas. The organization runs in an autopilot mode with people changing but not the goal. For this purpose, the organization evolved with small steps. New institutions are created by Swayamsevaks trained in RSS Shakha. Evolution. Thus, as the RSS evolved, you find new and new organizations coming up. Thus, we find the rise of Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, ABVP in 1948 during ban of RSS, a body meant for students. Now it is the biggest student organization in Bharat. It also does its social service. Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram rose to serve the Vanvasi or tribal brethren in 1951. It is present in all the tribal districts of Bharat today, about 600 plus. Bharatiya Janasangh of Shyama Prasad Mukherjee was given some RSS pracharaks. It went on to become the biggest political party in the world. Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh was founded, that went on to become the biggest trade union in Bharat. Each of these created its own philosophy based on Bharatiya genius, Indian knowledge system, not copying their ideas or ideologies from the West. Vishnu Parishad was founded in 1964 with a clarion call to bring different sects and sampradayas on one platform and reform Hindu society. Incidentally, Sri Sathya Sai Baba had a lot of affection and blessings for Vishnu Parishad. It gave a clarion call way back in 1966 and 69 that Hindava Sahodara, no Hindu Patito Bhavet, which means all Hindus are born to the same mother, hence brothers. Now this mother, who is this mother? Bharat Mata, the motherland. And hence they are brothers. And no Hindu is sinful or untouchable. It was a revolutionary call. To get even Shankaracharya's support for this call was a huge success for the Vishnu Parishad and for the society. VHP went on to spearhead the struggle for social harmony and Ram Mandir movement. It may be the only agitation that sustained a mass level for nearly 30 years before Ram Mandir became a reality. Thus the march went on. We had Shiksha Bharati spearheading Seva in the education, now having 40,000 plus schools. Seva Bharati, umbrella organization for Seva projects inspired by RSS. Arogya Bharati for the people working in field of health. I have talked about Ekal Vidyalaya already. And there is also latest Saksham, which serves the specially abled people. There are around 38 all India organizations and hundreds of regional and state level organizations. I would like to add that in every Seva project, there is no discrimination based on caste, creed, religion, or any other belief system. I have gone to many of disaster places also, where persons of every religion have been given due Seva, due support, and due respect. This is the evolution of RSS from a single Shakha founded in 1985 to nearly 78,000 daily shakhas and 30,000 weekly and monthly shakhas. They cover 60% of mandalas and 100% districts. Another outstanding achievement of RSS is growing steadily and thriving over 100 years. While most of the Hindu organizations either go weak or split over time, it is famously said that three Hindus have 4 points of views. We love to debate, argue, split due to individual egos and emotion. RSS never split. What is the secret? Its ability, skill, and patience to create consensus and take decision by consensus. Drop any idea if it is not acceptable unanimously. Such decisions make it slow and challenging. But once it becomes everyone's decision, everybody owns it and implements it. You'll find that any organization that has grown steadily and become stronger uses this technique of consensus building. To summarize, you need to have selfless character to build institutions and skill of consensus building to sustain and grow institutions. Not just build institutions, build good human beings who will grow the existing institution and build new ones. Don't judge people by their qualities. Judge them by their heart, their readiness to work for the betterment of the society, and their commitment to their work. The three M's, men, money, and material. Of these, men and women are most important elements. If you have good human beings with you, other things will follow. When people would come to Dr. Hedgewar and offer money and donations for the RSS, he refused, though he needed money very badly. Saying he needs people, money will follow. You need compassion and deep sense of oneness with the society to serve it. Do not do it alone because you can do it, but involve more people of the society so they too get the chance to serve the society and elevate their lives. You are not doing charity when you help someone. You are performing a privileged. You are performing as a privileged Atman to have the capacity to do it. You do not live by yourself. This body given to you by the Supreme Being is to attain higher level of self-realization, and seva with devotion or serving the Narayan through Nat is the best medium to do so. With this, I close my remarks. Dhanyavad. Namaskar. Have people gone to sleep or they were expecting me to talk more? Please feel free to ask any question if any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Mohanji, your mic is shut.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, now audible.
Yes, you're audible now. Yes.
I think there's some connection issue, sir. That's why.
No, now we can hear you.
Uh, yes, sir. Students, am I audible? Can you just raise your hands?
Yeah.
Can you raise your fingers? Yes, thanks. Yeah, thank you, sir. It was very incredible to see the RSS journey. And few points which you made, those are very vital. The point on Naraseva is Narayana Seva, how you're focusing on men, that's very important. I remember Prime Minister when he was talking about our hospital inauguration, he was telling how Bhagwan Satya Sai Baba freed spirituality from religious clutches and he joined it to the social service. He spoke in Hindi, though my Hindi is not good. I loosely could translate. So it's very important. And as students also, always we would say in Satya Sai institutions that we are a social service organization with the spirituality as its basis. And in men we see God, in women we see God, and we should reach out to the breadth and the length of the nation and enlightening the nation. Very nice points. And one more point which I loved was decision by consensus. That's very important when organization becomes big. Sometimes it may be dictatorial, but it's very important that decisions are taken with consensus. Only then organization won't break and the parampara continues. Though founder is no more there of RSS, but 100 years parampara is there. That's an awesome talk, sir. I also have few questions, but before my questions, I request students if they have any questions. They can take the mic and ask. If not, they can send me in WhatsApp. Anything is fine. Before they organize that, sir, I had one question. I was following the Vidyabharati wing, the education wing of RS. So you have come up with various schools, colleges, I think university as well, few universities under your affiliations. How do you manage the finances? Like you were telling in the talk, there would be very least involvement from government. How do you manage the finances? How do you raise money? And this point was even brought by Prime Minister in his recent podcast. So I just wanted to ask.
See, as I noted that most of the institutions which are inspired by RSS don't depend on the government finance. For example, schools, most of them are not under government grant scheme. They charge minimum fee and they have their benefactors who donate for the schools and colleges. It's not a centralized funding. All the
Okay.
schools raise their own funds. It is highly decentralized approach. The Vidya Bharati itself is a apex body which tries to coordinate the activities, provide some solution, provide some common ground, brings them together to share their ideas and have a common goal kind of approach. But each within that, each school and each institution have their own freedom to run the institutions with a common goal of providing service at the lowest possible cost or free of cost, depending on the institution, and helping people grow.
Sure, sir. Any question from students, sir? You can send me in WhatsApp as well if it's okay. They have sent in WhatsApp, sir. How do RSS manage such large set of volunteers and keep them motivated? Usually, what happens in various organizations as it becomes larger, the organization principles are diluted. But how do RSS would manage volunteers at aligned to its core focus or objective?
See, RSS, again, the secret lies in decentralization with a very common, clear-cut goal of taking the nation to the highest level of prosperity. Then why the shakhas of RSS don't grow very fast is that you have to train people, and they get trained in shakha. As I gave some simple mechanism how they grow in shakha. So it takes some year before normal swimsuits becomes a karyakarta. This particular journey can take 2 years, can take 10 years, 15 years, depends on the person how it matures. So having gone through the common training from the shakhas, as they go out, they carry the training with them. There are common programs which are shared from the local body, let us say at the district level, where songs for the shakhas are given, intellectual programs are told what can be taken, and common events are created, camps are organized, workshops are organized, in which they get regular upgrade in the training, so they don't lose sight of the larger goal and never lose the sight that they are here to serve the people, to create good human beings and or not their own any kind of their own trip. So this continuous training is at the heart of remaining steadfast to your goals and your practices.
Yes, sir. One more question. What are the women-led initiatives in RSS? Are there any women exclusive wings?
Yeah. See, there is a organization called Rashtra Sevika Samiti, which was formed in 1936. Because at that time, playing together of very hard muscular physical games of women and men together was something that could not be even thought of. So Dr. Ji did not include women at that time. So one woman, Lakshmibai Kelkarji, whose own son used to go to Shakha, went and met Dr. Hedgewar and told him, why don't you do something for women? He said, I am a bachelor. I do have no clue how to do it. You please do it. Whatever help you require, I'll give that help. So the Rashtra Sevika Samiti was founded in 1936, and they were given the training that is given to men, similar to women also. They also have their own pracharika system where women go full time, girls go full time for Rashtra Sevika Samiti work. They have camps, they have workshops, and today there are lakhs of women in this particular organization. It is not as big as women because for women organization the problem arises of their own timing, their own commitment to other programs of family and profession. But it is growing, it grows, and it also has its own seva projects. Apart from that, this every program of RSS except the Shakha activity has women in them. So whether it's some seva project, whether it's Vishnu Parishad, whether it's Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, everywhere you will find women giving full time. In fact, Vivekanand Kendra's head, Nivedita Bhide, she herself is a full timer. So women in every other organization of RSS, women find pride of place. They are encouraged to be part of the organization and they work together with the men. And that is how the women participation in various activities of RSS takes place, apart from the Rashtriya Sevika Samiti, which is just like a shakha.
Yes, sir. Can you kindly throw some light on RSS from an organization to movement? What is the key between the two from an organizational standpoint?
Yeah, your voice was getting broken, but I get the idea that you're asking about how or Shaka became a movement. society's movement. Yes. See, basically, RSS was started by Dr. Hedge when he realized that politics is not the way forward because we want to change the society, we want to unite society, reform it, and bring people to a common platform rather than putting them into different boxes like caste, creed, and religion, etc. You have to do work outside the political field. Though he was a very senior Congress leader, he dropped everything and started his work on RSS when he was 34 year old. And you imagine at that time, average age of Indian citizen was about 50 years. At that old age, he gathered some young teenage boys and started this activity. So he was clear that he would mold the young people and use them and take them forward to expand the work. And he would not depend on people who already have a preconceived ideas. So from that one shaka where nearly every student of that particular shaka went on to become pracharak, full-time worker, led the organization in various fields wherever they went. Slowly, it spread. So how did it start? That the young students would, after high school, would be sent to different universities to study, and they would start shaka work there. He also encouraged people who are doing service to drop their job, go out and start the work somewhere. So either do their own income earning some activities there and give every other time to the RSS work. So there are people who went to Tamil Nadu, some people went to Punjab, some people went to Northeast. And slowly these people who had very difficult time, that sometimes they would not get food to eat, sometimes they would not get place to sleep, and in this difficult task, and some would go hungry for 2 3 days. There is a story of Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who was wearing a very worn out chappal, and Nanaji Deshmukh is senior, who ran a very wonderful Seva project in Chitrakoot, and also who was the first politician to resign from politics at the age of 60 and start service projects. And he gave him some money, said, buy a new chappal. After 2 3 days, when he met Atalji again, he was still wearing, broken chappals. He said, "Why you are wearing worn out chappals? I gave you money." He said, "I have not eaten for 2 3 years. So sorry, 2 3 days. So I thought I would rather have something and save my soul before I buy chappal." So this is the way this work went ahead. And then as the work grew, there were some different stages. First was this initial consolidation till Dr. Hedi was there from 1925 to 1940, when RSS work reached nearly every region of India, though in a small manner, but it reached there. Then after 1940, death of Dr. Hedgewar, Shri Guruji became Satsang Chalak. Under him, our organization grew very rapidly. In fact, in 1942 itself, about 600 pracharas came out, 120 from Punjab itself, and this fueled the growth of RSS in a big way. So by 1946, RSS was very big, huge organization, but it remained a shaka only. So we were told that organization for organization self. We just have to organize shakas, organize people, not to do anything. Though they took part in 1942 Quit India movement by book. Sangh and Swaraj talks about that. They took part in Satyagraha also, in Goa liberation also. But basically it remained very shaka-centric program. Then 1946-47, when the partition took place, they went out of way, sacrificing their lives, risking their lives to serve Hindus and Sikhs from the clutches of Muslim League goons. They also went out to help army in Kashmir when Pakistan raided it in 1947, and they also paid with their lives to save it. But in 1948, with some wrong targets and wrong accusation, it was banned. So from 1947 to 1950, till the ban was lifted in July 49, it was in a dormant state. Many swamsaks lost, lives lost, jobs lost, and businesses lost. So from 51 onwards, was a rebuilding period. From 1950 to 1973 was a period when RSS grew strong, went all over India, and also started many organizations. In my lecture, I gave name of many organizations. So slowly, from Shaka-centric program, RSS-inspired organizations started taking place in various sectors of the society. I talked about trade unions, students, religious field, etc., etc. So by 1973, when Guruji left, RSS had dominated nearly every aspect of social life in India, and some organization or other, big or small, was there in every segment of the society. In 73, anti-corruption movement started, and Jayaprakash movement started, Gujarat agitation started. At that time, RSS, for the first time in its history, decided to directly get into the work of uh, social activity is said, because everybody needs to get rid of corruption. We are also affected. So after 19, when the agitation picked up and the draconian emergency was declared, RSS was also banned and many other organizations were banned. At that time, when RSS leaders were there in the jail with other opposition parties like Socialist Party, one of the Communist parties, then Samajwadi Party, and then Congress, people who are against emergency. So slowly the doors opened, and since RSS worked underground for nearly 19 months to fight democracy, it reached out to people, reached out to society. People like us in our youth met various ideology people, we met various leaders of various parties, and the vision spread also that RSS did not remain an untouchable at that moment of time, because people realized how it fought emergency and struggled to bring back democracy at a very heavy price. Because 90% people who were jailed were RSS or allied organizations. In the MISA also same thing. MISA was very draconian, something like law where you cannot appeal for your life, you cannot appeal for bail, etc. So with this hard work and also underground movement, it became a known name in the society, and society started recognizing it as a social force who also helped get over the emergency period and fight for democracy. So its doors opened. People reached out. We reached out to people. That was the next stage. Then there was this Janata Party experience failed, and then Bharatiya Janata started. RSS went on working as it usually does in the social field. Then became the big case of Meenakshipuram, conversion case where 1,000 people were converted overnight into Islam, and this disturbed the local people, also the government, also the RSS, that one can choose one's religion individually, but when mass conversion happens, there is something fishy, some kind of a problem there. So again, a movement was started by acharyas and sant and sadhus who went out to the people, underprivileged people, talked to them, and then tried to understand what is the problem. And then there was a huge yatra, Ekatmata Yatra. I will not go into details. We resulted in nearly 8 to 10 crore people getting connected to that particular yatra and through it with RSS. Then the Ram Mandir project came up, during which crores of people, came out for the non-violent movement. There are different projects at every village. One reached to every village. So from there on, it became a huge people's movement. Now, after so many years, it is so now that what Dr. Hedgar originally told us, that it is not an organization within the society, it is an organization of the society. Now, of the society, we can realize now, when everybody who knows RSS or does not know RSS wants to become a member of RSS, reaches out to RSS when he or she wants to do something new, reaches out to RSS Swayamsevak how to do a particular thing, and also seek their help in their own social work. So this change in the society from one shaka to people, nearly everybody identifying with RSS and its good work, and also trying to take its help or give it help for the social well-being. That is how it became from a small organization to a movement of the people.
Yes, sir. One more question. How does RSS balance tradition with modernity? And how do RSS plan to attract youth, especially from Gen Z, Gen Alpha, who are very different from the previous generations?
See, as far as modernity is concerned, our Bharatiya culture or Bharatiya Dharma is the most modern, most scientific. And we know that we don't have any irrational thoughts. We don't stick by what is the dogma of one particular time. We evolve. So every few years we got reformers, we got people who start their own reform movement, people join that movement. The people who start a reform are not thrown out of the society, they are part of the society that treated as gurus, and the reform takes place. So a self-correcting mechanism is there in Hindu society. Similarly, RSS, being following that Hindu essence of Hinduness, it also remains modern. Wherever required, it changes practices, changes way of working, reaches out to people in different manners and different organizations and different programs, and keeps on attracting people. For example, the join RSS button, which is there in rss.org's website, gets thousands of hits from people every month who want to join RSS. So they are reached out, they are explained RSS. Some people join, some people don't join. Some people have different notions. So they start joining. And yes, as you said, problem with the Gen Z is not that RSS is not modern. Problem with Gen Z is the kind of education they received after the 2004 when the education system became so secular in the sense, not the true meaning of secular, but non-dharmic. One can be secular, but when it's with dharmic, one can follow any religion, but when it's to follow ethics and morals of the society, when these ideas, whether they belong to any religion, are thrown out of the education system in the belief that secularism means no religion, we end up with a society which has no moorings, which has no roots in the society, in tradition, in history, and they find themselves more westernized, more attracted to those kind of ideas than to their own powerful knowledge system which was able to sustain the world with the highest GDP till even 1850s, and which was able to provide at mathematics, science, astronomy, metallurgy, shipbuilding, every kind of knowledge that we had was much advanced than the world at that time. We gave it all up, started believing that we have no knowledge, that we are backward, stupid people, we have nothing to claim. These thoughts were challenged by a Gandhian called Dharampal, who went to UK and wrote a book after researching British documents, uh, science and technology in 18th century India. He wrote a book called The Beautiful Tree about the education system that we had. In fact, in South, he gives documents that in the school system, every caste and creed was there. All this was lost because we followed Macaulay. We started believing we know nothing. And that uprooted system was further strengthened in the last few years when we were told that we have nothing to talk about and we must give up everything spiritual or religious. And we end up with a generation which has now no links or roots to their own knowledge system and tradition. So this is the challenge. Now, this challenge has to be taken up by the families, by the schools and colleges like Sri Satya is doing, Satya Sai Ji is doing, and also we also take care that how to address to them the speciality or the quality of our culture and our scientific temper. And that is the reason the national education policy, which is revived now, also talks of Indian knowledge system, also talks about knowledge of tribal people who have their own knowledge base, and also tells us about various aspects of our own way of looking at the world. When these things pick up, this woke ideas, this irreverent ideas, and believing that that nothing is important than own pleasure, because in our own dharmic society, every religion that follows believe that the person is here not to just enjoy life, but also to serve people, also to work collectively. Now, this idea, when it comes back in slowly as it picks up, we'll find the people getting the right kind of sanskaras, the right kind of understanding that where they come from, what is why their nation is great, why their culture is great, and then get back into the mainstream that we believe is our mainstream.
Yes, sir. This is a final question, sir, and it's little bigger also. Based on your whatever talk and analysis which you have given, I understand that RSS is a very widespread, very decentralized, and many activities in India and abroad. How do you effectively manage challenges that arise to RSS and ensuring the unity is maintained among all the verticals and effective functioning is happening at every level? And how do you face or confront these challenges to the RSS bandwagon?
See, one is that RSS works only in India. It doesn't work outside India. There are organizations there which are inspired by RSS themselves who went outside and started their own organizations, but they are not RSS organizations. They follow the same inspiration. As far as within India is concerned, it is very important when we're talking about consensus. I will also talk about coordination, which is called Samanvay. Because when you have got, let us say, nearly 40 All India organizations working in different aspects, sometimes even in opposition to each other. For example, Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh may have some issues which Laghu Udyog Bharati, which is a small scale industry organization, will not agree to. There will be certain needs of industry which Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh may find inimical to the labor. So how do they reconcile? So there is there is what we call coordination meetings, Samanvay Baitaks in different places in different times depending on the size of that particular meeting. So there is an annual Samanvay Baitak of RSS where every organization affiliated or inspired by RSS comes, and including Bharatiya Janata Party. There are local Samanvay meetings which may take once in 3 months. There are totally local which may meet every month. So when they meet together, they share their ideas, they share their experiences. And idea is that not to stop anybody from doing something, but where a solution can be found, where we don't clash with each other. Because ultimately, every organization knows they're working for Bharat. They're working for the nation. That is the ultimate goal of working for the nation. For its good, if some organizations to give us some ideas or pick up some ideas, they readily do it. When the goal is clear, when the long term vision is clear, then these apparent clashes can be reconciled. So reconciling different interests, like a family. In family also, we have got problems with father and mother, son not looking in the same direction. Two brothers have different ideas. They sit together, they solve the problem, they try to find a solution, or each one keeps working in its own way till we can find a solution. That is how the organizations work, because we believe basically it's a family. So organization of RSS is called a family organization, not some social organization. This feeling of family together with different organization and readiness to reconcile helps us reconcile the differences and overcome them. Yes, there are some serious problems sometimes. Sometimes it's time to iron them out. But ultimately, the goal being the nation, solutions are found.
Yes, sir. Sir, sorry, sir. There's one more last question. I think students wanted to ask you directly. They didn't want an intermediate between you and them. I ask the students to ask.
They thought you are moderating the questions.
No, sir.
Yes,
I
please.
would like to ask one question. Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, you're audible.
Yeah. So, in modern days, how RSS is managing the social media management, branding, etc. Like how in modern days?
See, RSS never had a media policy or media organization cell. You'll be surprised to know the first time RSS had a media cell was in 1993. That is, you can count the years. It was started in 1995. Even if you look at 1950 as the starting point after the ban was lifted, nearly 40 years after that, RSS started a media organization. Now, as I explained to you, the thought of RSS all through had been to abnegate or give up propaganda or marketing or advertisement or publicizing his work, because good work always speaks for itself. And when we get into propaganda kind of situation, we sometimes lose the strength of what we want to do. But having understood that the RSS is attacked every time without any cause and reason, and its good works is also not shared in the media, it started a media cell. So idea of media cell is to explain to people the good work done by not just RSS, but other well-meaning people, and also respond to the false allegations about RSS, and also explains its philosophy. So this slowly led to many other people joining the media, social media work also, and it led to RSS organizations making their own websites, making their own Instagram account and Twitter account, etc. But it is not through the level that communist or left lobby has. It is very simple, individual driven. So when I feel like writing, I write about RSS or write about national issues. When I'm told I go, when told by TV to come on TV, I go on the TV channels. Similarly, hundreds of people do it, but there is no central control as such. There is only some guideline how to reach out to people and explain your ideas. So there are more channels and programs on other channels than rss.org, YouTube, for example. But there are small organizations and small setups that are doing it, which spread the word. But there is no centralized control on these, because, as I said, RSS believes in decentralization. And in this war of narratives, in this war of propaganda, it lacks sometimes, but that is the way it does. So there are people who every person who wants to do is free to do it. There are some information that are being shared by people or RSS, that this is what the true story is, this is what is happening in various places, based on which we assume, we presume our responses and work accordingly.
Thank you, sir. I think we need to have a follow-up session because so much of content is there for us to follow. And as you rightly said, RSS is such a nice organization where many things, many best practices should be emulated by other institutions like ours, or any other spiritual institutions which are there in India. And one word, what you said, family, that's what we also believe. Entire world is one family. It's one world and one family. That's the mission statement which our founder Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai is carrying out in the name of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. We are happy and also not happy because we couldn't host you physically. We request you to please come and visit our campus once at Mudanelli, which is just 30 kilometers from Bangalore airport. So we request you to be part of our institution. And this year we are doing 100 days celebrations of Baba from August 16 to November 23, where every day one of the countries, like one country would be celebrating Baba's message of love all and serve all. So we would request you, and I would once again
Before I
give an
close, I will like to share a story which I heard very recently. I don't know whether your people have students have heard it.
yeah, sir.
There is very strong following of Satya Sai Baba ji in Caribbeans, right?
Yes,
So as one of the full timers of that area working in a Hindu organization, that did Satya Sai Baba ever visit the Caribbeans, Guyana, etc.? He said no. Then I asked him, how come that there are thousands and thousands of followers of Satya Sai Baba there? He told me that Satya Sai Baba appeared in the dreams of many people. And it
yes,
is amazing, amazing. 8,000 miles difference between Bharat and Caribbeans. There is nothing but spiritual connection. And people who have never seen Satya Sai Baba, never visited Bharat, they get dreams of Satya Sai Baba. So
yes,
Bhajan Mandali started. They started celebrating Sai Baba. They started singing bhajans and started coming together. The sheer power of Satya Sai Baba's spirituality has really shaken me up, because some of the elder people came to my home. Why they came? They wanted to visit Puttaparthi. So this amazing story is something I wanted to share since you asked me, about global. I just remembered that story. I think youth
yes.
of today were sitting in the class would be surprised to know this story, because generally we forget such things to share. But this is my personal experience, and that is amazing. So I just wanted to share that.
Sure, sir. You should visit us at Mudanali also, sir. We would
Anytime, I'll be happy
love
to
to
visit.
host you.
It is my
Thank
privilege.
Yes, sir. Thank you for this session, sir. We
Namaskar.
would
Thanks
end
to
this
all the
session.
students. I hope they
Yes,
enjoyed the session. Thank you very much.
yes, sir. We would end session with the Sahana Bhavatu again. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryan Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Saram, sir.